What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today, or actually I should say tonight, we're doing a night drive and I'm going to be talking about how to sign copywriting clients in the way that actually works in 2025. We're gonna rip the BMW around. Should be a pretty good time. It's actually so foggy right now though, so this is gonna be really interesting to see how this actually turns out. But I did a night drive in a day in the life video that I actually haven't uploaded yet, and it turned out really cool. So I figured it would be kind of neat to do a POV drive like this and also talk a little bit about signing clients and give some actual value in these, so you guys can watch me just drive my car around San Diego, I guess, and talk about client acquisition. Let's just not crash here, and then we can head up to this cool little spot. I think that the biggest misconception with outreach and like client acquisition in general right now is really that it stays the same, right? And what I mean by that is, you know, when service-based businesses were a thing, and I'm talking like the prime Iman, SMMA, Tai Lopez era, everybody taught the same method of outreach because it worked. You know, the typical like spam, copy and paste, DM script, everything, it worked back then because not as many people were doing it. There wasn't as many, you know, people competing with each other. Nowadays, you ask anyone that sells a course what their DMs look like, and they're going to tell you that they are flooded with people trying to pitch them on services. But the thing is because as time evolved, it's almost like outreach, quite frankly, hasn't. And it kind of feels like everyone is still stuck in a bubble of trying to get clients the same way that they would in, you know, 3 years ago. In 2020, you know, what is 3 years ago? 2022, wow, time flies. Like in 2022, for example, right? But in reality, that just doesn't really work anymore. I can tell you firsthand, the way that I signed my first copywriting client was through a contact I had on my phone. And that's something I recommend everyone doing. If you're watching this video and you are trying to sign a client for any service-based business, or literally anything actually, go through your contact list in your phone, hit up every single person that you know either owns a business, runs a business, is a high up at a business, or has some kind of connection that could actually help you with. Because people that you know personally are much more likely to actually help you or connect you with somebody that you can do some free work for and get some experience in. Damn, car's loud tonight. That is by far the easiest way to sign your first client in anything. It's literally hitting up people that you know in real life and just being like, sorry, I had to let that one go a little bit. Literally just hitting up people that you know in real life and being like, hey, I'm doing this, I have this skill, let me bring it to you, let me bring it to your business, and let me see if I can help you. And you do it for free in exchange just for, you know, some value to them. If you get them results, you get a case study. It's a win-win for everybody. If you don't have anyone though, don't worry. I'm not, you know, making the entire video about this. I'm just giving this PSA that this is probably the easiest way to sign a client. That being said though, the main thing that it comes down to in today's world of client acquisition and doing outreach, it's all differentiation, right? It's how different can you make yourself look to people that you are trying to pitch, right? It's how much can you stand out? Because at the end of the day, pretty much every single person you DM on Instagram or send a cold email to has somebody else hitting them up trying to do the exact same thing that you are pitching them on. So you have to take that information and you can either use it to your advantage or you can ignore it, tell yourself it's not true, and let it negatively impact you for the rest of your business career. So let me give you a more relative example of what this actually looks like, because I understand I can tell you all day, be creative, and that doesn't mean anything unless I give you an actual example of how I did it. And creativity, it's, yeah, sure, like it's not the most teachable skill on the planet because it requires you to actually think of it yourself. But I want to share the example of one of the most creative things I've ever done, and maybe you can take something from this and apply it into your outreach, or maybe you get an idea spinning off of something I'm talking about. So one of the most creative ways that I've ever landed a client or, you know, done any kind of, you know, outreach, it's literally finding prospects in my local area and just asking to hang out, just being a normal person. One of the first big retainers I ever got was, I hit this guy up who was the owner of a SaaS company, and we had a lot of mutuals. I was like, hey man, I see you're in San Diego. And he's like, yeah. And I said, bro, we have to grab dinner. It would be super sick to connect. He was like, yeah, let's do it. We go to a restaurant here in San Diego called Javier's, one of a very nice Mexican restaurant, like super high end. And we just chatted up. We probably stayed there for like a couple hours. He was super cool. To this day is still someone I consider a really good friend. And eventually after that, he told me, he just shoots me a text. He goes, hey, like, I need a copywriter for some client work. Like, I have all these people in my DMs, but like, I feel like I trust you more because we know each other in person. You down to work together? Can we do this for a bit while I am on contract with these clients? And I'm like, dude, let's do it. Invoices literally paid, like that day. And the reason I'm saying this is because I could have gone into his DMs and been like, hey, what's up, man? Looks like you're, you know, doing really well right now. Like, what are you doing with email marketing? Like, I could have done that, right? I literally could have done that, and it would not have yielded me the same result as if I took the more sniper approach in a sense and was like, hey, let's connect on Instagram and let's go to dinner, right? Or I honestly hate the word connect now because everyone's just gonna spit out the Johnny Walker meme, you know, in the war room, sipping the Johnny Walker. I studied, bro, like that, you know? But great meme, by the way. And speaking of, a lot of these buildings are pretty trim, and I had to throw this in that video. But what I mean by that is, like, you can't stick to the same system you've been doing that isn't working. And I feel like the shell that a lot of people need to break out to really see the success that they actually want is the shell of thinking there's a best way of getting a client. And I think YouTube is a big reason that there is this shell. You know, there's all these creators out there that are putting out videos like the best outreach method, the best way to land clients in 2025. That is almost creating a belief in everyone watching that there is a best way to sign clients in 2025. But newsflash, the best way to land a client, I'm actually knocking around this red light. Yeah, that would have been really bad. Instant ticket. The best way to land a client in 2025 is to think outside of the box. You know, buildings here. Z4. It's like the new like G29 one.
That shit is nice, bro.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. You have a great night. Huh?
What do you do?
I run a marketing agency. Yeah.
Pretty good commission?
Dude, it's awesome, man. I love it. Living the dream.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man. Have a great night. Appreciate it. You know, I love when people just spread positivity like that. You know, it's so cool. I love just like talking to random people. It's so fun. It's actually so crazy though. I was so expecting him to be like, yo man, why do you have a GoPro on your head? Not nice car. But you know, you gotta laugh at it sometimes. Also, what is this intersection? This is like the weirdest thing on the planet. I don't know if I should go here or not. Okay, I think we're good. Anyway, that guy was super nice. That was actually really cool. Shout out him. If you find this video somehow, shout out you. You're really cool. We're literally just driving next to a train. This is crazy. Yo, I'm literally racing a train. I am literally racing a train. That is so cool. Wait, what? That was actually sick. We're literally racing a train. No way. Okay, back to what I'm saying. Because there's so many of these YouTube videos out there that are like, there's the best way to sign a client in 2025, all this, it's creating a belief in your head that there is. And then you think that if you're not following the methods that these videos are teaching, like spam 100 DMs to 100 random people every single day, that you're not gonna see the results. And it creates a mental wall where you don't go and try things. You have an idea of like, oh, maybe this would be a good way to like sign a client. And then you shut that idea down because it doesn't fit that like group of what those YouTube videos teach you. I can tell you firsthand, the best way to sign a client, it's simply from being a normal, cool, relatable person. Some of the people that I work with, specifically one person that I work with, is one of my best friends in real life. Because this is a relationship-based game. I don't see him, I genuinely do not see him as a client. I see him as one of my best friends. And you almost have to treat everyone that you want to work with like that, in a sense that like, hey, you're more than a client to me. Like, I have a genuine connection with you. I have a, you know, a friendship relationship with you, or yes, we're working together, but you know, I want to do everything I can to make you money. I want to do everything I can to have, you know, to build on this work relationship. The game of marketing, the game of client acquisition, it's so relationship based. Just a side note, it is such a beautiful night here. You know, it's just so pretty. Like, I just love driving down here at the end of a long work. I probably worked like 12 hours today. I just love coming down to the city in the night and just driving around. It's so fun. It's quite frankly the highlight of a lot of my days. I think the other biggest misconception with cold outreach is that it's a linear progress. Like, you start it and you just see momentum slowly build and build and build. And it's so inaccurate, and it will ruin so many people's chances of actually ever making it because they think like that. The way outreach actually works is you see no results for a really long time, and then all of a sudden, everything just like pops. That was wild. There's someone just in the middle of the road screaming at people. Back to what I was saying, they probably aren't seeing a lot of success with outreach. That's why they're in the middle of the street yelling, you know? That's what I'm saying though. You can't look at sending 200 DMs out, not getting a client. It's like, this doesn't work. I'm gonna give up now. Like, this sucks. You need to look at it more as a testing game of, okay, I sent 150 of these DMs out, I got 3 responses. I'm gonna switch the strategy up, and I'm gonna see if this does better. Maybe next time you get 6 responses. Then you're like, okay, let's challenge myself. Let's see if I can beat 6 out of 150. And then you send one out, and you get 50 responses, 5 book calls, 2 people close, and now all of a sudden, you're at 8K a month. That is how it goes. You have to test, and then all of a sudden you're gonna find a method that works. For some reason, I've realized that I live in a city where there's a lot of people that I can meet, and that I have a valuable skill that I can give to them to make them more money. And I've capitalized on that. I've realized that, okay, like, I wanna become the go-to person in San Diego for copy, for info product work, by meeting people. But you need to find your strategy. I will go as far as saying, I think you're better off spending more time figuring out, okay, what's my unique selling point strategy of outreach that I can really just make unique to me, instead of just going to like, okay, I'm gonna send 50 DMs a day. I don't think sending 50 DMs a day is a bad thing at all. I think it's a great place to start. I do think everyone should do it at some point. I think you should practice the spam DM approach a little bit though, because you're gonna, what the spam approach is going to do is give you a lot of experience with conversations, which you do need, right? Because you can have the best DM script in the world. If you don't know where to take it after the first message, you're not gonna get anywhere. So I do think, yes, volume is great as well, but you need to be thinking 24/7 every day, how can I set myself apart? What's one strategy I can do? When I started and I found these like weird creative approaches, I still spam DMs because it's so good for sales conversation practice, getting someone from the first DM to the call booked, to closing them. Because really the first DM is like one piece of the puzzle. And also, you're going to have ups and downs too. You're gonna have down days where you just feel like nothing is working and the world is just being torn out from under you. That's completely normal. Everyone goes through it. The biggest piece of advice I can tell you is you just gotta keep going through the motions. It definitely sucks on certain days where you're just not seeing anything and you wonder if all the effort you're putting in is ever going to pay off. It genuinely will if you stick around long enough and figure out the method that works for you. It genuinely will. I can fully promise you that. But with that too, don't neglect the other areas of your life because you're just trying to go all in on something. You know, I enjoy surfing so much. I've been surfing my entire life. I've competed. When I was younger, I wanted to be a pro surfer. But I try to surf at least 3 to 4 times a week and lift every single day because I know that those are the things that are going to keep my head in a level state of mind to where, you know, especially in the beginning when I was sending outreach with no results, because I was doing the things I enjoy and because I was taking care of myself properly, I was more mentally able to just accept the fact that, okay, I'm not getting results right now, but I know if I keep doing this, I will see something, and I was able to think more positively. Maybe this is a me thing, but I definitely know a lot of people that would agree with this. You will you will very much get in a much worse state of mind if you just trap yourself inside, don't talk to anyone, don't go live a little bit, rather than if you were to just enjoy your life for, you know, even if it's a couple hours a day, even if it's a 2-hour workout and that's all you do to get outside, or like a run or something, so much better than just locking yourself inside. This is one of the best restaurants in San Diego, and I still haven't been, and I really want to. I keep hearing so many good things about it, but I have a couple spots I like a lot down here, but that one is definitely top of the bucket list right now. I mean, just look at how beautiful this is too. I mean, this is so amazing. If you've never been to like a big city, I'm not saying San Diego is like the biggest city on the planet, but any city like Miami, LA, something like that, like so much recommend just going out and just seeing it and experiencing it, especially if you're in like a small town. Just getting out and experiencing a vibrant city just does something to your mind. It just shows you the possibilities out there, which is so cool. I remember the first time I went to Brickell, and I was just like, whoa, like there are people doing so many like huge moves, and you know, I'm such a small fish, but I loved it. It like lit a fire inside of me of like, wow, like I'm gonna go home and just build. So little, you know, piece of advice on that one. Man, there's a lot of trains out tonight. It's actually kind of cool. We are gonna kind of wrap this around a little bit. I did like kind of a loop through downtown, which is pretty sick. But I mean, yeah, it's a beautiful night. Really cannot complain about this. I know this is like a total yap video, but in a way that's kind of the point of this. I feel like it would be more fun to just do like a raw, authentic, like almost yap session in this video instead of doing like some sit down scripted best outreach method video, because for some reason when I try to do that, I end up not giving as good of knowledge as when I just go off the dome and kind of just yap like this. I guess another thing, maybe I should have touched on this in the beginning, I have nothing to sell you. I'm not selling you an outreach course. I'm not selling you, like, quite frankly, anything. I'm just kind of saying this is what worked for me. Feel free to take the knowledge and apply it for yourself, and I hope that it does help some of you. I do have a free Telegram though. If you want to join that, I will put the link in the description. It's basically just a channel where I go in and send some daily voice notes just with, you know, advice, stuff that's on my mind, questions I get in my Instagram DMs. That's how I actually get a lot of those ideas. So links down there in the description if you want to join that. Also link my other socials. If you have any videos like this you want me to make, shoot me a DM on Instagram. Happy to do that. But I will see you guys in the next one. I am trying to be way more consistent on YouTube, and I promise I will be. I've just been so busy lately. I've been pulling like 12-hour days, so promise I'll be more consistent on here. But hope you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you on the next one.